Well, the property market moves in cycles, and as sure as it goes down, it goes back up. So I agree with Shane that for an economist to suggest that it could lose 12 billion is ludicrous, because all of these are simply projections. And given that NAMA have bought property at a 50% reduction, all the assumptions are that property will go back up slowly, and certainly not to anything like the levels it was at previously, and that's only proper. But that over the next 10 years, property prices will increase. I have no doubt that will happen. I have no doubt that NAMA will make a profit. And as Shane said there, the profit will be dependent on the way in which property prices moves over the next 10 years. And for any economist, and I heard another economist on this morning from one of our universities, making predictions, and you can't make predictions about what's going to happen to the property market. And that's the reason why NAMA have now given 3 scenarios for either a loss or a billion profit, or if things go well, there'd be several billion profit. Well, you see, there again, while the banks may not have given correct information, that will be proven in time. The reality is that 12 months ago, there were many more loans performing than are performing now. For instance, 12 months ago, many property developers were paying interest only. Their money has run out because the market is static. So inevitably, there are less loans performing now than were performing previously. But again, the key success of NAMA is that we've taken off the banks the job of running these toxic loans and these toxic assets. And as Brian Lenihan has said, NAMA is a very professional outfit which will run those properly, which will be transparent, which will be upfront with people. And again, my view is that with the cyclical nature of the property market, the market will come back, and those loans that are not performing now will begin to perform again. You can't value property at the moment because there's no sale of property. The reason for that is the banks don't have any money to give out. Now, once NAMA gets its 47 billion out into the banks at 1.5%, then the banks will be in a position to start lending money. Once the capitalisation of the banks is completed, and Bank of Ireland have had quite a success in that respect recently, then they will be in a position to give out money. And it's only then when new investors, and there are quite a number of investment funds around the place with significant money who want to buy property, it's only then that we will begin to understand what the value of property is.
I hope you're right.
I can tell you one thing, Damien, that from the place we're in today, where you could give away property, and there is property being given away right now at very low prices. I believe that those prices will go up steadily. It will take quite a while, and they won't go up to anything like they were in the past. But I can tell you this, if I could get my hands on money at the moment, I'd be buying property. And there are a lot of people out there like that. And this property market will come back, just like every other cyclical situation over the last 20 or 30 years. And NAMA will continue to be successful, provided that it manages the portfolio of property. And for instance, I heard Joel Burton on the radio the other day saying they should sell off the assets in London, because by holding on to them would be only creating jobs in London. That would be a total disaster if that were to be done. And if we were to follow Labour's approach to the property market...
She's thinking just of getting cash back for the taxpayer, I suppose.
But NAMA will begin...
SMEs default on their loans. He's not willing to lend them anything, basically.
Listen, we've got to look at an economy which is beginning to grow again. And Shane is wrong in respect of the bank's ability to pay. This year, Bank of Ireland didn't have any difficulty paying the government 600 million. So the idea that the banking system can't yield up 800 million in a number of years' time when things get better from then and the economy...
If it's only 800...
But Damien, the banks are paying very significant money this year in terms of the guarantee, in terms of the other monies that are being charged to the banks. They're not being bailed out. They're paying for the investment that's being put in. So I don't accept for one moment that the banks won't be able to carry the can. They are carrying it at the moment.
Sure.
And the other point that is very important, which Shane mentioned there, was the issue of sorry, it's gone from me now, but I've no question or doubt in my mind that the banks are paying and will pay. And the issue of being able to lend money, that was it. Sure, that's the only way they're going to be able to make a profit, is by starting to lend money again. And if they're getting 47 billion in at 1.5%, surely to God they're going to want to give it out at 4 or 5% in order to make a profit.
One would hope so. Frank Fahey, TD for Galway West, Chairman of the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Transport. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to